Hey, good afternoon. My name is Rory. This is 420 Central TV, and we have the great pleasure of bringing Fabrizio Dentini, which apparently means small teeth. Correct?
Correct. I
Fabrizio,
confirm.
welcome. Thank you very much. Let us know a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing in South Africa.
Rory, thanks for having me. I'm very proud of your invitation. I am an Italian journalist, and since 2009 I specialize myself in writing about cannabis and in the multiple application of this, let's say, holy plant. So I cooperate since that time with a European magazine. The name of the magazine is Soft
Soft
Secret.
Secrets. That's what we're talking about today. Soft Secrets.
And this is a media that since 1985, so I was 4 years old, teaches all European citizens to grow and to respect cannabis. And that happens from Sicily to Berlin, to Andalusia, the south of Spain, to Scotland, and let's say from the French Britain region to Poland, everywhere, you know. Our political mission is a botanical mission.
Right.
We teach people to grow, to get dirty with soil, and to go for quality above quantity. You know,
Agree with you.
To laugh about because I think it's super power is not to take ourselves too much seriously, no? So
Yes.
I like also to laugh about the job I do, and I always say that if you hold our magazine and you carefully check all the articles, at the end of a lecture, you take the risk to develop 10 green thumbs.
I understand.
You know?
Yeah. I've been through the magazine myself, and what I like about it straight up is that I think it's so suited to a South African market, you know. Huge, big, expensive magazines rather than the ability to communicate, and if I'm not mistaken, free. Is that correct? It's
You
a
can
free
say it
to
aloud,
market.
yes.
Yeah, this is a free magazine or a free newspaper, and I think that's exactly what it needs to be, a newspaper. This is it. So let's get into a little bit more of a question. The way
Yeah.
I understand it, you've been around for some 40 years, is that correct?
More
You're
or
saying
less.
85-ish, you were 4 years old?
Yes, the magazine started in 85.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna...
Me, I jumped aboard in 2009.
Okay.
And what brings me here, that was also the second part of your question, what brings me to this marvelous country is a personal challenge. I am interviewing one of the cannabis heroes of this country, Madame Myrtle Clark. I
Yes.
discovered almost 6 months ago that there was an opportunity to grow cannabis for privacy reason inside your place.
Yes.
There were not a limit of what you can grow until it's in your place, and of course it's not for trafficking. And so I realized that, man, I am actually working in Europe where it's everywhere forbidden to grow apart from Germany. And I said, I feel that we can make something interesting for South Africa, for our magazine, but also for the community of South African, you
Yes.
know, of South African growers, South African cannabis lovers. And so I took a plane, 14 hour of flight. I'm 11,000 kilometers away. And I went here in May just to check, just to talk with the people of the industry, to show our magazine and to see what they believe, if there would have been a space for us. And man, in 2 weeks, apart that I have to say that the Rainbow people is one of the most warm and friendly people I ever met. From one side, it's inevitable that I feel a Martian here. This one is only my second time, you
Right,
know.
yes.
In my life, I spent 2 weeks in Cape Town, and now I'm going to finish my second week in Johannesburg. You know,
Right.
so it's inevitable that I don't have the code how to behave. You know, I just learned. How to take a taxi.
Or
you know?
to travel by taxi.
Exactly. But from the other side, the smile of the rainbow people, the eyes of the rainbow people, really keep in touch with the soul that share the point of view I have in this world, you know.
Right.
So from one side I'm a Martian, but from another side I feel really at home, you know.
Right.
So that said, we found in 2 weeks of work in May 2025, 1 week in Cape Town, 1 week in Joburg, from zero, like more than 110 points of distribution that saw the magazine. After page 4, they couldn't believe that a magazine like this already exists.
Yes.
And when they asked me, how I want it, but how much is it? I say, it's for free. Man, they hug me.
Of course.
And so in the last months, we found agreement to print locally,
Wonderful.
the agreement to distribute with the courier guy,
That's fantastic.
and by half of February, we'll be released, we will give birth to a South African Rainbow magazine, you know, a new baby that will be in this country,
Right.
to educate the cannabis lover community,
Yes.
exploiting our know-how, you know, because 40 years that we do this. And this is a beautiful, blooming, rising industry. So we want to take with our hand, with our green hand, and to move together to a new horizon, you know.
Yes.
That it's what it's all about. I want that every local, I love the rainbow expression, you know. Every rainbow grower that open our rainbow magazine see like a mirror. He see himself or herself and see, and we give them the opportunity and the tools to become a master grower.
Right.
That is what it's all about.
Okay, I love that. So just to get to understand, you've been around a really long time. The nature of the magazine is going to be tailored to the South African market. Will there be some content that's international? Will you have some of your advertisers international? What sort of percentage of local content versus international content would you have?
Of course, the idea, because you have to know that Soft Secret distribute in Europe, not the same edition. I brought here what we call the international edition because it's in English, you know. So that one is distributed in the United Kingdom, Slovenia, and Malta. But we have a team of freelancers for Italy, team of freelancers for France, for Germany, from Spain, for Poland, from Czech Republic, from Holland, you know. So that means that in every country we try to build, to conceive cultural content that is directed focus for the national public for two main reasons. Because in the south of Italy we do not grow that like they grow in the north part of Europe,
100%.
and also the local legislation are different.
Got you.
So here my idea is what I'm doing during this travel is to talk with the cannabis lover that apart from growing they also know to write.
Yes.
And to start to develop cooperation with the local authors, cannabis activists, cannabis specialized journalists that can write from the South African point of view to the South African people.
Yeah.
You know? Of course, a part of the magazine will be taken directly for our international edition because we have the best authors around. And so, of course, we want also to enrich the community with international glance.
And
you know?
some subjects aren't region specific, they are international. So the best of those to be brought
Exactly.
into.
So from one side, let's say that this magazine will give the opportunity to the national local community to open itself to the world and see the rest of the world, what's going on, which are the new technique of growing and everything. But from the other side, as I said, it will be really, my ambition is that when a South African, as I say, open it, he see himself in a mirror. You
Totally
know?
agree with you. I think
From the
that's
feeling
very
point of
important.
view.
Yeah. So can you give me just what is your sort of specific target audience in terms of your age group, demographic, any of that? Who are you specifically targeting with the magazine?
Mainly we are a magazine for growers. A magazine that I used to say, as I said before, to laugh, we are a magazine for Taliban of marijuana. Taliban means orthodox, so for orthodox grower, okay? So our main focus is about growing, you know? And so our main point of distribution are hydroponic stores, for example. But of course, here we are talking about cannabis from old point of view. And so we are, of course, distributed in a lot of cannabis social club, cannabis shop, because this is a free, high-quality services that you are delivering to your client, you know?
Yeah.
And when you talk about ages, I would say everyone who can read, but more than 18, I would say.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, just to include in there some of the things you may want to feature is things like using the international sign that says this is a cannabis product. There's a few projects that are important within the South African keep it safe sphere, should it be, that might be important to include in there, because we really don't have a big source of information going out to, you know, you say the grower, but I will say to you, to the audience as well, to the user, there's a massive hole or vacuum in that space at an affordable level, which is free. You know what I'm saying? So there's a massive opportunity to go slightly beyond the grower, first of all, and secondly, I think you'd have a really a bigger, more interactive audience that you can tap into. And you certainly, by going into the cannabis clubs and things like that, you're tapping into where that audience is, you know.
Of course.
So it's lovely to hear that you have a local flavor, and that's important to you. You certainly will get a hell of a lot of flavor around South Africa when visiting the different outlets that are there. There's lots of different cultures that you'll get to experience. So you did touch on it just now, you have a local publishing partner. The first edition, let me know again just a little bit, what are the
By
dates?
the half of February.
Okay, so midway
will
through
be delivered
January
concretely
the
to all the point of distribution.
Well, there you hear it. The first one hits the magazines, or the magazine rack, or the cannabis club counter by the middle of February. So I want to just ask you, you've visited quite a few outlets this time in South Africa. What is your view of cannabis and where we're at in terms of presenting cannabis in your view?
The product itself, you mean?
I think for the facilitator, first of all, the product, let's touch on it. First of all, the product. Secondly, where you go and visit to see cannabis being presented to the public. What is your view of the interactive space of cannabis in South Africa?
So this is an interesting question. Let's say from the product point of view, I think that there is a huge know-how here in this country. People know to grow. A lot of them know already to grow, has a history of growing, and the product I'm getting in touch is high quality.
Right.
I mean, I'm a specialized journalist in this field.
So
I only get in touch with people that are on a certain level.
Sure.
I do not say for arrogance, I say because that is my job, you know. So it's difficult that I have in my hand a low quality cannabis, not grew with love, you know.
Yes.
It's quite difficult after 14 years of work. Man, that is.
Yes.
And that, talking about the product, I have a very, very good positive feedback. I could also say some funny story, but maybe in the second interview we'll make. And talking about the world that is behind the production, the atmosphere, from one side, I'm here because regarding where I come from, you represent for me the future. You know, as I said, in my country, in Europe, apart from Germany, thanks to God, it's not possible to grow. And that is a bigger problem for us from a different point of view. For us as a citizen, and I'm not saying for us as a magazine. The magazine has prospered in the 40 years of prohibition because a commitment is stronger than every laws against it. But this is another subject.
Agree.
So from one side, I feel that I come here and I see how the future can come true. Okay, so I'm learning a lot. and that is the good part, the part that makes me happy. From the other side, I see that even if there is this space of freedom, it seems that the government doesn't really implement a clear regulation.
Sure.
And that prevents a lot of energy to be deployed.
Agreed.
You know,
and wasted.
And that is a pain.
Yeah.
That is a pain also if it's not my country.
Sure.
That is a pain because behind an uncertain regulation, there are a lot of people still suffering.
Absolutely.
And we don't want that.
There's high risk, you know, so that's a reality for us. It would be, I mean, there's so much energy within the industry, and it's a real opportunity for South Africans to be in that space. We've got great climate, we've got great products, we've got tons of people that don't have work. It's not a excessively high level skill environment, so we can put spades in the ground and we can actually make a difference. You know, so to get some regulation to get this going is vital for us as a country going forward. And we're all hoping that something like that drops this year. You know, there's some expectation.
I really hope, and I really hope with the power of the words and our intellectual honesty, we can move the step after, you know, because for example, to show you that I'm starting to get in touch with the industry of this country, I cannot stand the paradox that from one point of view, there are a lot of good companies that already export medical cannabis. And the last time I heard of a story of a mom in Huffington.
Yes,
her home was confiscated because she sold to undercover cop 300 rand of cannabis.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah,
Let's make it an opportunity for everybody.
Yeah. No,
That's my point.
Have to agree. So Fabrizio, just before we close off, I want to show off once more. That's the newspaper that we're talking about. Goes to shop on the 15th of February.
And soon here you will have your beautiful rainbow flag.
There you go. You got a rainbow flag coming on in there. And I'm just going to give a quick page through it. There's some nice articles. They really show off product, give you an idea of how products are shown off. There's a couple of really interesting brands. There's a few stories on different outlets from overseas. It really has got some fantastic stuff for anybody that's in the cannabis industry, whether you're a user, whether you're a grower, whether you're a processor. So look out for this magazine. It's coming at you middle of February. Fabrizio, any last words for us as South Africans within the cannabis market? Some words of encouragement. You've been in it for many years to many countries.
I would have, if you told me before about this question, I would have loved to prepare some Zulu or Xhosa answer. Oh, you see, I did the click sound live. Oh man! So now, what my last words? My last word is commitment, passion, and green thumbs. This is as I said, this is a holy plant. It's not the only one,
yes,
but it's a holy plant, and it comes with the responsibilities, you know. And
Absolutely.
so with our magazine, we will try to teach that.
Okay. Fabrizio Dentini,
You're very nice, thank
Little
you.
Teeth. So
Yes.
appreciate it, man. I met you the other night, and to have you sitting in the studio with us today is really fantastic.
It's my honor.
I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rory.
You take care. That's all from us. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to look out for soft secrets. Ciao for now.